Hey guys, City here, and welcome to another Dragon Ball Talk. Today I'm going to be reviewing Chapter 1 of Dragon Ball side story, The Case of Being Reincarnated as Yamcha. For those who may not be aware, or who may not have heard of this story, basically an unnamed young man from what appears to be our universe dies in an unfortunate accident. He then wakes up early in the Dragon Ball universe as Yamcha. First he is disappointed, wishing he was Goku or Vegeta instead. However, he quickly changes his tune after realizing that this was the time when Yamcha and Bulma become a couple. While the thought of this was tantalizing, another realization was made. This one, far darker. Yamcha would be eventually killed by the Cybermen. This was something that this new Yamcha was not going to let happen. Instead, he would dedicate the next several years to training to prevent that event from coming to pass. When I first heard about this comic, I was elated. Yamcha has always been one of my favorite Dragon Ball characters. While I was disappointed that it's only slated to be 3 chapters, I'm just glad we got this in the first place. Now, the opening, the random Dragon Ball Z fan being reborn as Yamcha, is for me probably the low point of this manga chapter. While it isn't bad, it's far from ideal. A better opening would be an old dying Yamcha, disappointed with the way his life turned out, wishes for a second chance. An unknown deity grants this, but it's revealed later. This would have allowed for the actual Yamcha to make the choice to become stronger, and it would also create mystery right from the start. But enough with that, let's move on. So after the initial part of the chapter, we are then presented with a time jump to the attack of the Saiyans. The time jump was a bit sad, as I would have liked to see how the events of Dragon Ball were affected. However, the next scene more than makes up for it. Upon Vegeta suggesting 1-on-1 matches against the Cybermen, Yamcha says, quote, "Hey Vegeta, we can drop the stupid games. I'll handle them on my own." This shows just how confident he is of his new power, and it's just plain badass. Vegeta orders the 6 Cybermen to attack at once. They obey, but are quickly halted when Yamcha kills one with one hit. This is an impressive feat on its own, but it gets even better. The remaining 5 Cybermen proceed to pile on Yamcha and explode at once. At first, the attack seems successful, but once the smoke clears, it is revealed that Yamcha is unharmed. This is not only awesome, but it's important for Yamcha's character development. His self-imposed challenge has been completed. While he still has 2 Saiyans to fight, it does beg the question, what is next for the hero? He had spent the better part of at least 12 years training for this moment, and now it had passed. With the exponentially more powerful enemies from here on out, it is unlikely that Yamcha could remain relevant past this point. Granted, with only 2 more chapters left, this is unlikely to be an issue. At the end, we are left with an image of Yamcha in front of the Namekian Grand Elder. This suggests that Yamcha had his latent power unlocked before the battle. While I already know whether this is true or not, here are my thoughts when I first saw this. I hope it is not the case. It suggests that Yamcha either had power only moderately higher than the original Yamcha before his latent power was unlocked, or had a low amount of latent power compared to even Krillin. This assumes Yamcha will not be able to defeat Vegeta on his own, which is likely. Otherwise, what would Goku have to do? So, final grade, I give this chapter a B. Overall, despite a rather uninspired beginning, this comic is still quite entertaining. A more confident and badass Yamcha is great to see and does the character justice, even though it's not technically the same Yamcha. While the time skip is disheartening, perhaps if the manga becomes more popular, they'll go back and fill in the blanks. If you enjoyed this, please support the manga. A link will be found in the description below. I will also link to an unofficial English version, but if an English version, official version releases, that will take over this, I will replace the description, and I would prefer if you support that.